Hi, everybody. Welcome to Reality Buzz TV. So, finally, you guys, we do the full review of the reunion of the Mummy Club Part 2. I know you guys have been waiting for it. Okay. Hey, time. Okay. Listen, you guys. So, I don't know, you guys. I kind of feel like we really needed Miss Mancha in this reunion. Okay, it's very hard to do the reunion when there's somebody that cannot come and account for their actions and offer some apologies for things that they did on the show, even if they are saying that there were some apologies that were offered outside of the show. I just feel like if you said something offensive to somebody on the show, then you must apologize on the show so that we can follow the story. Also, even just to speak for herself on certain things. So I did feel like part two of the reunion, I really felt like, okay, Miss Mancha should have been here. She should have been part of the reunion, but what are we going to do? She wasn't there. So remember in the first part, you guys, there is a part where they are talking about Ratile's claim that she knows something about Her Majesty, because she had said that she had indicated that there's some secrets that she knows about Her Majesty. It's all on her phone. Okay. Now, Tembisa Mtata is asking about that. What exactly is that? Okay. I heard that they don't reveal what that is. Instead, she just says that no, it's some of Happy, who's Her Majesty, had sent Ratile a screenshot of something from her diary entry. So my understanding was that Happy has a diary and she had made an entry in her diary. So it must be something personal because in your diary you usually put something personal. So she had made an entry in her diary as took a photo of it, sent it to Ratile. I don't know why she would be sharing her diary entries with Ratile because they were just still getting to know each other. You don't know if you can trust this person, but she did. That's what Ratile is saying. I was shocked by the fact that Happy is not even, it doesn't look like she is sure what that entry is, okay? Because she was like, but what was it? Okay. I'm like, don't you know what you sent to Ratile? Or maybe it was one of those moments where she was drunk and ended up sending it to her and she does not remember. Now, Happy ends up saying, listen, you don't want to do this because I have a lot of information on you as well. People sent me some stuff. So you might have that one diary entry on your phone, but I have the whole library on you. Okay. At first, you guys, I thought Happy is bluffing. Okay, I thought Happy is just trying to find a way for Attila to be intimidated and not reveal what that diary entry was. But when I saw the reaction got Attila, she was really scared, you guys. She really was scared because when she was asked about it, what do you think that is? It's just like I don't know, but she can reveal it. But I felt like she was really nervous about it. And I was like, there's definitely something that Happy received. Even if Happy was not sent anything, but there's definitely things that Ratile doesn't want people to know. She doesn't want the cast to know about. She doesn't want us to know about. Everybody has things that you don't want the public to know about. But I felt like her being that nervous, I feel like, ooh, definitely, it's possible that Happy has something. Happy was insisting, listen, I'm not that kind of a person. I'm not going to reveal it. But I felt like she was using it to blackmail Ratile into not revealing her own secret. Okay, she's like, I'm not that kind of a person. I'm not going to reveal it. But I don't know. I mean, if you reveal my secret, maybe I might end up revealing yours. I feel like that's what she meant. Okay, so it made me curious about Ratile. What is it that Happy knows that she's nervous about? Because she definitely did look nervous. They did ask Ratile if she wanted Happy's life. Happy says that at some point it felt that way. I did also feel like during the show that Ratila was just bothered by Happy. Yes, so Happy is all dramatic, you guys. I think that the statement that she is a cloud chaser, I think it's definitely true. She likes the attention and all of that. But I just felt like with Ratila, she was just overly bothered by it. Okay, if you're getting to know somebody, like, okay, this is the kind of person Happy is. She likes to trend. She likes to post things that she shouldn't even be posting. And yeah, but if you're just too bothered by it, maybe you shouldn't even be bothering to build a friendship with the person. Okay, sorry guys. I had to pick up that phone. So you guys, so this is how Happy comments on the cloud chasing claims, which I think is right, you guys. She says that if you talk about people being cloud chasers, basically everybody that is on the show is a cloud chaser. The mere fact that they are doing a reality show means that they are all cloud chasers. Also, Ratile specifically is a cloud chaser because when she is on stage trying to become Messi South Africa, remember she said that she had entered to the Messi South Africa competition. She says that you are a cloud chaser too. I think that is right, you guys. If you're in the internet for anything, you know, and whatever it is that you're doing, it works better when you get more traction to your stuff. Then, you know, you're a cloud chaser. Even us YouTubers are cloud chasers here on YouTube because we are trying to make sure that people watch our videos, you know, they like them, they share them, all of that stuff. So I think that she is right in that. Okay. Maybe they might feel like Happy is doing a little bit too much, but they are doing the same. They're just doing it at different. Okay. Now, here is the thing. With Ratile, remember Ratile, even though she had called Happy a cloud chaser, they had a meeting during the show where she apologized for that. She apologized to Happy. Listen, these are the reasons I thought that you were a cloud chaser, but if I hurt your feelings, I'm sorry. Okay. Now, even while they're doing the reunion, I think Ratila had apologized a number of times. She apologized for the fact that she had said that it does not matter if Happy dies or lives, it doesn't change anything in her life, which I thought that was really mean, especially because Happy does have that medical condition that is really hard to deal with. Okay, she apologized for that. She's still apologizing for the cloud chasing comment. Okay, so it gets to a point where Nunurai is like, guys, okay, I'm just wondering here. How many times does Ratile need to apologize? Because she has been apologizing. I don't know how many times. She even asked Ratile herself, what are you apologizing for now? Because you've apologized. If they don't accept your apology or they accept it, but they're still talking about what you did, what are you apologizing for? Nunura is of the opinion that the other ladies are giving Ratile a hard time. I feel like, honestly, you guys, they expected during the show, they expected Ratile to join their group because there are different groups now. It's Nunurai's group, Nunurai, and Nunurai Ratile. And I guess Mancha is now on the other side, and then there is Happy and Mrs. Mobs. I do feel like Mrs. Mobs and Happy expected that Ratila was going to take their side, was going to join their group, and she didn't. Now they're just giving her a hard time because honestly, out of all of the ladies on the Mommy Clash, she's the one that has apologized the most about the things that she had said and done on the show. But for some reason, they have not forgiven her. Okay. Now, they do get to talk about the confrontation that happened between Ratile and Miss Manja, which is why I was feeling like Miss Manja should have been there, especially for this segment, because she is the one that went to Ratile's house to confront him. What had happened is that when Ratila joined the group, she had asked about the friendship that Miss Mancha had with this one person that they had a falling off. They used to be best friends, now they're not best friends, and asked what happened to their friendship. Okay. And Miss Mancha was offended by that. I don't know. I mean, if you ask me what happened to me and a friend that I used to be friends with, I'm going to be like, no, we're no longer friends. And we move on with life. But for her, she was offended because she felt like Ratila was trying to start something. She goes to Ratile's house to basically talk things over and just attacks her about her husband, her older husband, and all of that. And I think in the data session, she makes some comments about how the house is looking a little bit more matured, the decoration or whatever interior decor yeah, looks a little bit more matured and all of that stuff. Okay, nothing. There's nothing about the house that she found to be beautiful. And also, she was talking about Ratile's husband and their marriage and all of that. It's just very offensive, okay, to Uratile, okay? And Uratile sat there and took it, which I didn't understand at the time. Because listen, if you come to my house and you are insulting me, you are getting out of my house, okay? Before you finish that first sentence, so I'm like, How did this happen? Okay. So they were talking about that. It happens sometimes that when somebody does something to you, it takes time for it to sink in, and you really get upset about it, and then you really like get heated about it after they're long gone, and you're like, I should have said this and this and this and this. Granted, Ratila does say that after the show ended, them shooting the show ended, they did have a sit down with Mancha. Miss Mancha did apologize, and they are trying to rebuild. Okay, but now when they're sitting at the reunion talking about that, she gets heated because she's thinking about all of the things that Miss Mancha said. She said, "Listen, yes, the apology was given, but I felt like." It was very wrong for her to say certain things about my family, about my husband, about my house. Then she ends up saying some shady things about Miss Mancha's house, okay, almost indicating that the house that they lived in during the sorry guys, something happened while I just pressed pause before. This video is gonna seem very weird, but anyway, you guys. So basically, like Ratile ends up saying something about somebody's house being an Airbnb because her house is not an Airbnb. And then I was like, does she mean that Miss Mancha's house was an Airbnb? They were living at an Airbnb. And I was like, I wouldn't be surprised though, because there's been people that have said that even Miss Mancha doesn't really drive the cars that she was driving on the show. So it seems like she created a certain life for the show, and she has a certain life for Instagram, but then she has a real life, which I don't blame her for, because the pressure, honey. So she mentions that as well. I don't know, you guys, if it was, I felt like I understand her saying, listen, I never got to vent about this. I never got to say how I felt about what Miss Manchester said about my family and everybody, especially on camera. I get that. But I also feel like it's not a good thing for their friendship, because now she's going back, because she said Miss Manchester had apologized to her. They're trying to rebuild. Now you are mentioning her living in an Airbnb of some sort. And I'm like, she's not going to be happy about that. Okay. After that whole vent, because she does get emotional while she's saying that, because at some point I thought, you're doing a little bit too much, girl. And she gets emotional, goes to the bathroom, she's crying. Nunurai follows her there. I'm like, I'm understanding why she's emotional, but at the same time, I'm not understanding why she's emotional about it. And then Happy is sitting there saying, this one just wants, people to feel excuse me, to feel sorry for her. That's why she's crying. And Miss Mobs is just sitting there, not bothered by the fact that somebody just walked out, you guys. And when they are asked why did they think she got emotional, Mrs. Mob just said that, listen, I think that she's just venting. Of course, she didn't get to say the things that she needed to say on the show, because she wasn't being authentic on the show. And then Happy says that this one just wants people to be, you know, to feel sorry for her. Okay. When she comes back, one thing that Ratile has said repeatedly on the show is that she feels like it's not everybody that is being held accountable for their action on the show. Okay. And I do feel like that. I feel like Ratile has been made to apologize and re-apologize and all of that. If I was her, I would do what Nonorai says, is that, listen, if you call me a snake, I'm going to be a snake to you. And no snake ever apologizes to nobody. A snake acts like a snake. That kind of is so like, I'm not apologizing. Especially, Nonorai would say, if I do something wrong to you and you do something wrong to me, then you cancel the apology. I don't need to apologize because you've already said or done something bad to me. That kind of a situation. I just would stop apologizing if I was Chile, because nobody is really honestly accepting her apology. Okay. Then she's asked again by Tembi that you owe Her Majesty an apology. Okay. Oh no, this was Nunurai now. Okay, we're done with Ratile. Nunurai was asked, do you owe Happy an apology? Okay. And then Nunurai is like, listen, I don't think I owe Happy an apology because she called me a snake. Okay, that's why she said that she called me a snake. So if you call me a snake, then let me act like a snake for you. Okay, she's like that. It goes, okay, if you think I'm a snake, let me act like a snake to you. Okay, that's what she's saying. Was it no? She doesn't feel like she owes. Her Majesty any apology for all of the things that she said or did about Her Majesty. Okay. And so it gets to where now they're talking about Mrs. Moss, because I thought they're never gonna get to that point. Okay. Mrs. Mobbs was very messy on the show. Mrs. Mobbs was a born carrier, even when she did not need to be a born carrier. And if you speak to Mrs. Mobbs about somebody, that information is going to go to that person, and then it's going to start something. And then Mrs. Mobbs is going to be standing on the side, acting like nothing, she doesn't know anything about what is happening. And she's asked about it, you guys. She says, listen, I don't feel like I'm being messy. I just feel like if you say something about somebody and it's on the show, it's going to come out anyway. So I might as well tell that person so that you can resolve it. So it's my way of making sure that people get to resolve things. But I don't think that I'm an instigator. I don't think that I am messy. That's what she says, Mrs. Mobbs. I definitely think that she's an instigator. I think that because she has more experience on doing a reality show, she knows the thing that makes a good show. But she does not want to necessarily be part of the drama. So if she can get a bone from this cast member and take it to this cast member and then make them sit down to talk about the bones that were carried, then, at the end of the day, she's done her job, because she's on a reality show doing whatever she can, to make sure that there's drama, but the drama is not, you know, yes. So I feel like she was able to play that because she's more experienced, but definitely I think she was an instigator. I think that she was messy. I mean, but a lot of it made the show to be a good show. Okay. So I think even Happy agreed a little bit about the fact that Mrs. Mobbs is a bone collector, even though she was trying to be funny about it. Because obviously her only friend on the show is Mrs. Mobbs. She does not want to mess up that friendship. But if she's being real, she did carry some bones. Okay. And Tembisa did ask about whether there is camps on the show. There is the Nunurai and then Mrs. Mobs, and they seems everybody seems to think that. And I think Ratile explains it to say, listen, even though there might not be camps, but there's a thing of when you come in, you have to choose a side. Okay, you have to choose a side. And if you don't choose a side, if you say, I'm not this and I'm not that, then you're going to be excluded from things, because you just have to make a decision. Okay. Nonurai says it's not groups, it's just Mrs. Mobs and her people. Guys, like if on this show they don't bring back Nonurai, I don't know what they're doing, because I really felt like at the beginning, I felt like hands down the realest of all of them is Happy, until she started being Mrs. Mob's follower. Okay, now I feel like hands down it's Nonurai. Okay, hands down it's Nonurai. Nonurai is the realest of them all. Even when they were talking about friendships on the show, Mrs. Mob said everybody was saying, we're not really, we're just building a friendship. And Nora was like, no, Mina, I'm friends. Mina, I'm friends with Ratile. She said, I'm building with Ratile and I am friends with Miss Manche. And then the others, no. She was just real about it. And when others were like, I don't know about this, I'm building or whatever, So I really felt like, she's the realist. Okay. They do talk about the fact that people are saying that Happy is Mrs. Mob's lapdog, which Mrs. Mob got upset about, because she's like, listen, that's very rude. Okay. She is not my lapdog. And Happy was I wouldn't say a lapdog, but definitely a follower. I feel like in the next season, we're just going to see Happy follow Mrs. Mobs wherever she goes and agreeing with Mrs. Mobs. Whatever Mrs. Mobs does, whatever Mrs. Mobs says, she's going to be agreeing with them. And it's not going to be very entertaining for us, because Happy was good as a cast member when she was looking like she is her own person. She's the realist and all of that. But now that she's just like Mrs. Mobs is whatever, not a lapdog. Now it's not as good. She's not as good for the show. Okay. They get to the baby daddy situation. Okay. The baby daddy question. Listen, Nonora still maintains that she doesn't regret asking the question. She says that that question actually was not necessarily for Omoshe, because it was a question you were supposed to ask the question and everybody answers. So it was just that Okuhle, Omuhle, Omohle has a story with the baby daddy situation, but it wasn't really meant for her. They get into the Vena situation. Remember, Vena is the friend that Nunurai brought from Zimbabwe, but she said she didn't bring Vena from Zimbabwe. Vena was already coming to South Africa, and she only found out a few hours before they shot that day that they were at her house that she is coming, and so she had no idea that she was coming. Okay, and then Tamisa asked Nunuragus, do you think that you are the same? Or no, asked Mrs. Mobs, do you think that Nunura is the same as Vena? Because remember, Vena had an issue with the ladies because they had said that there were no satellites in Zimbabwe. Okay, she was trying to defend that situation. After the show, she went online and said some things about Mrs. Mobs' husband, everything. Okay, so Tambisa is asking, do you think Nunura is the same as Vena? As if Vena is like this horrible person now because she did that. Okay, all I thought of is Vena is brave because nobody says anything about Mrs. Mobs' husband. But I do understand them saying, listen, it's us on the show, not the husband. And I'm like, there's nothing like that. If you're on a reality show, everything is fake game, basically. Your life it's fake game, okay? And your life is your husband, your kids, and everything. So now Mrs. Webb says, yeah, I mean, show me your friends and I'll show you who you are, kind of a situation. That saying. And then Nonora is like, oh, if that's true, that if you show me, if I show you my friends, you will know who I am. Then is that true for you when it comes to Omotle? Because remember, Omotle said that xenophobic comment that in Zimbabwe there are no satellite dishes. And then the Mrs. Mobs and Happy, they laughed, and so she's saying, oh, if you're saying that, then that means that now what Omuhle said, now you believe that. That means that if your friend is xenophobic, you are also xenophobic yourself, okay? And then Miss Web's like, no, I am not xenophobic. I was in Zimbabwe for a wedding and it was beautiful. And there are a lot of satellite dishes in Zimbabwe. No, 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 no. It's like, oh, so me, I am like my friend. Me, I'm the same as my friends. The way that my friends are, I'm like that. You said that, but it doesn't apply to you. Okay. That's what she was trying to say. No, you are being a hypocrite if you say that, because you are saying I am like my friends, but you are not like your friends. I think she was trying to make a point to say, no, you can have friends where you are different from them. It doesn't mean that I'm exactly like Vena, but she is my friend, just like you are not exactly like Omotla and you don't believe in everything that Omotla believes, but you are still friends. I thought that was a good point for her to make at that point, you guys. So, and then I think that there was it, you guys. There was it. I think that honestly, Nunurai explaining that she was no longer mad about what was said on the show, but obviously they had to talk about it on the show because it had been long. But when they talked about whether the people are friends or not on the show, the cast is friends or not on the show, it's clear that they're not friends. Even Nunurai said, listen, had it not been for the reunion, we would not be talking. We would not be talking. I guess they were going to see each other in season 2 because they were going to be forced to shoot with each other in season 2. But for now, they don't. They're not talking to each other. So I guess not a lot of people were successful in building friendships, but there are friendships. There's Mrs. Mobs and Happy. I'm not sure, you guys. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to wait and see next season if this friendship survives. And then there's Nunrai and Miss Mancha. And then there is Ratile and Nunurai. And Nunurai seems to generally be like, if you're my friend, you're my friend. She's not ashamed to say somebody is their friend, is her friend. I think, honestly, she is one of the best friends that you can have on the show because I saw that exchange between her and Ratila where she was saying, girl, what are you apologizing? I like you, you're my friend, but what are you apologizing for when it comes to this lady? Haven't you apologized enough? And they don't take your apology, they don't forgive you. So what are you apologizing for? Even though they were friends with Ratile, but she was able to question her in that way. So I do think, for me, Nunurai is like the best. She was the best cast, hands down, for the show. She did a lot for the show. I think that Mrs. No Happy, much as they did a lot for the show, because she showed a lot of her personal life. By the way, they do talk about her engagement. She says that she's slowing things down. She's not going to get married anytime soon. They haven't broken off, but she did not have a ring with her. And she says that she just decided it's too soon for her to get married. She just wants to focus on her kids, which is good, you guys. So I do feel like Happy shared a lot of her personal life. She shared stuff with her kids, her nanny, everything. So she shared a lot, but when it comes to the person that is really